Thank you, everybody, for being here, and thank you for the opportunity to speak. Olive already introduced me a little bit before. I will introduce myself again and at some point in my talk here. First, so what was the mission that I was given today? Prepare a 10 minutes chat on these two topics, my role as the local InnerSource Summit lead for Berlin, and also what InnerSource and InnerSource Commons means to me. Uh, Three slides were mentioned, but I guess that was not a formal constraint. I think that the time and the 10 minutes are were the actual constraint. Yeah. So because I went over three slides, yeah. Cannot do anything with three slides, I guess. I don't have that power. So first of all, about me, I joined at SAP in 2010 as a developer. Before that, I had already around 9 years of experience in software development, but a different realm. So I am a former developer. I don't develop software anymore, although I think I will always be a developer. It's kind of a state of mind, right? And I am a long-term open source enthusiast. Use the word enthusiast here because, to be honest, I don't have a lot of contributions, like source code contributions to open source. I have like one big one and some other small ones. But now I am involved more in communities around open source projects like this one and so on, and even with the topic of inner source. Talking about that, I have become an inner source officer at SAP. This is not like chief something or anything like that. It's just a job title. That means one of my main assignments is to spread the inner source culture at SAP, grow the awareness and grow the adoption of inner source at SAP, where I am also a member of the open source program office. That's actually my team since 2022. So about my role in the InnerSource Summit, as you know, we recently had this crazy idea of doing an event that runs across three different locations, hosted or co-hosted by three different companies, and I was the one that was responsible to make this happening in Berlin. And that is where it was hosted by SAP. So, to describe a little bit about what does my role entail, I would say it's about making sure that everything happens well locally in my own sub event, let's say. So things like helping select the talks and the speakers, helping let's say, ensure that we have a smooth check-in experience, that the speakers have a good experience, that they know what the conditions will be, that they know when to be where, and all that kind of stuff during the day. Also, the catering or all the details, like the technical things that have to happen at the event to ensure that the slides are showing up, that everything else is working. So all that, those things I was responsible for securing the venue, the budget, so all that. And on top of that, what we have to do when now to use a software engineering term, I would say, is implement the right interfaces so that we could plug this local event into this global event. And that is stuff like ensuring that we use the same ticketing system as everybody, keeping in contact with the global event organization, that means Olive, all the time to be sure that things are on track, and be sure that we are broadcasting the right way, because this was a hybrid event that's broadcast all across the world, so people could join virtually and have a smooth experience as if it was one big event. And as part of that experience, we also had this idea that the events, they should not just coexist, but they should be connected to each other. So we did these handovers that we also had, like on site. We saw what was happening in Yokohama, and then we said hello, and then they handed over the torch to us. And then after that, in the afternoon, we did the same for IBM. So these are the kind of interfaces that I am talking about. Yeah. So this was a very interesting experience, and I think it's important to say why did we do this, or personally, why did I want to do this, and why did I want SAP to host this event? So there are I think it's two main reasons. One, I wanted to give back to the community. I have been a member of InnerSource Commons for quite some time. I have been attending the events that we had until now virtually. I have participated on great on-site events and gatherings organized by other people, and I was feeling like I should do something like that too. Now it's my turn to get people to my home and welcome them and give them a good time. So this is something that I wanted to do. And I also wanted, then what's in for SAP, I wanted to strengthen the message that inner source is something that we want at SAP. That's very important. We have to constantly remind people, mainly our own people, that, hey, this is something that you can do. You should do and you should prioritize this. So we wanted to send that message too. And of course, associate the brand of SAP with this topic of inner source that I consider so important in the tech community and, well, for the world, I would say. Yeah. And what were the results? This is a very nice picture that we took at the end of the event. It doesn't even show everybody who was there at this point in the event. Some people had already left, but I like this picture very much. It shows that everybody's having a great time there. And we did at the end have 11 presentations and many more presenters because we had many occasions where we had more than one presenter for each presentation. In one occasion, I think it was even 3 people doing a presentation together. We had 3 hours, more or less, of space for people to network, like at the check-in, at the breaks, at the lunch, and all that. And I think that went very well. I saw a lot of people interacting and talking to each other. And we did have an after-event get-together that was also a great opportunity for people to network. So that's not part of those 3 hours, and not everybody was available to go there. But I think we had maybe around 30 to 40 people at the get together. Yeah. In total, we had 67 on-site attendees coming from 29 different organizations, and I think 26 more or less of those were SAP employees. So we also provided great content internally to our employees. And I like to say this, for me, it was like a great inner source party. After thinking a little bit, it felt like my inner source birthday, in terms of like having a party where everybody's coming to my home and I have like this opportunity to receive all these nice people that I know from the community and engage with them, which is something that it's not so often that we can do that on site. And tons of positive feedback, which was also great. So the last part, what InnerSource Commons means to me and what InnerSource means to me, I think that's a very interesting question. To answer that, I think I have to say, like, what is my vision for the world? I would like to be able to live in a world where everything is open source. Yeah, not everybody shares that vision. It's a bit complicated, and I know that we will probably not going to get there easily. There's a lot of constraints and so on. So why not then aim for something a little bit easier? That is, what if we could live in a world that at least the things that cannot be open source were like if they were, but in a limited scope, like within the organizations that are handling those things. And this is inner source for me. Once I had the first experience more than 10 years ago where I contributed to a project. It was not my first contribution to another project, but it's the first that, looking back, felt like open source. Then everything where I could not do that became extremely frustrating because I knew another world was possible, one that empowered me to be the one participating in the solution of my own problems. So that is inner source for me. And what is inner source commons? Where it's the place where it feels like an inner source home, is this community, is this great place of like-minded people that not necessarily share my vision that everything has to be open source, but they do share this other vision that whatever cannot be open source should be inner sourced. And that is where I feel the sense of belonging in this community, where I know I will find other people to collaborate with and to learn from and to share experiences. Yeah, with that, a little bit over 10 minutes. Let's build inner source together. And thank you, everybody, for hearing me out.